Hello and a very warm welcome to Winter Weigh-In. Great to have your company as always, your Monday night review of all of the weekend's action. This week on the show, we're going to be catching up with Donna Logan after a successful weekend at Tauranga, delivering a double. Not only that, but we review the listed Tauranga Classic won by the Tony Pike trained Chichilian. We get you to a story with Murray Baker's grandson in Flynn Nicholson, New Zealand's only successful recipient of the Godolphin Flying Start course for 2026. Outside of that, we recap New Zealand bloodstock weanling sales. All of that to look forward to on this week's edition of Winter Weigh-In. For now, though, before we get started, let's get you to a recap of the weekend that was.
And Girls is racing away for the win. Starlight Rose will be second, just ahead of Casa Rubik. Nice win. Number 4, Girls, just a second race day appearance. Quando, the favourite delivers. Quando will beat second Takashi, third Reptac. He goes bang bang after a spell. 10 foot tall on the outside, going to the lead, short of the line. Patient ride, 10 foot tall wins the Sika Kiwi Fruit Cup. Chichilian in front, clear, and she'll win the Team Whelan's Tauranga Classic. Kai My Queen will be second, Thusa third.
Back-to-back wins in the race as well for Sam Collett with Chichilian, of course, won last year aboard Cork, this year aboard Chichilian. It was a smart ride.
Rocking in front, Transaction tried to pick it up, but he's judged it beautifully, young Tom Wigram. Well done to Donna Logan and Tom Wigram. They'll get a double on the card. Star Race in front, Colgate lunged and close. Judge Tom Thompson's giving the heads up next door. He's saying Dar Ace.
Zulika in front, Sun Worshipper trying hard. Zulika, she's packing a strong punch. Zulika all the way. It gives rookie trainer Todd Pollard his second black type win. Of course, one here with Midnight in Tokyo on Stradbroke Day. A fortnight later, a listed victory with Zulika. 100 to go, splashback. This is a rails hugging ride. It's a brilliant ride. It's a brilliant victory. Savagery Guy, Fluke for second. Photo third, baby Jared Gong. Splashback, the shortest way home via the fence, wins the Tats Tiara.
Woodlands to the outside, My Girl Alice in front. Here's Woodlands. Woodlands moved up, grabbed the lead. The first training success is a combination for John and Shane Phillips as Woodlands gets the prize.
We had bad weather around the country during the week, but we certainly had some blue skies at Tauranga on Saturday. It delivered a dream day on track. We mentioned Donna Logan at the start of the show, and she's our next guest here on Winter Weigh-In this morning. Donna, hello to you after a big weekend of success. Congratulations.
Thank you. It's nice to come home. The drive seems always so much quicker when you've had a good day.
I'm sure it does. I guess a good starting point is to talk about these two horses. If we start with Girls, a 3-year-old filly, just lightly raced, but good to get that maiden win on the board, no doubt.
Yeah, we've had a high opinion of her for a very long time, and the first start at Tauranga, we were like, oh, that didn't go quite according to plan. So it was really nice to tick the boxes this time.
You mentioned having a high opinion of her. What do you sort of do next? And you have some lofty goals in mind in the future?
Well, firstly, I'd like to just work with her for a few days, make sure I'm really happy and we're on target. But there's a nice maiden at the time race coming up with good money, so we may look at that. But it is a trip down the line a bit. Otherwise, we could just stay around the northern area and look at Ruakaka. We'll just see. I just want to really make sure I'm happy with her. That track wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be on Saturday, and she coped with that well. So fingers crossed, it's just the beginning of some nice races to come out of her.
I was on track there on Saturday, and the grandstand just about lifted off when she won. There's a group of very enthusiastic ladies involved in her. Tell me a little bit about the ownership group.
Look, Kylie contacted me in Singapore and said, let's do a girls syndicate. And I said, great idea. So we purchased this filly and we filled it in 2 days. It was so good. And a lot of ladies from all walks of life are in her, and Jesus, that they just go crazy on it. And some of these women have never owned a horse before, and they've said, I've got the bug. I can't stay away from it now. I just want to get involved in this racing. I love it.
That's what we like to hear, isn't it? You mentioned that you wanted to see how she is a couple of days after the race. How she sort of come through it? Has she eaten up well post the win?
Licked the bowl. Every runner we took down licked their bowls on Saturday night, which is always encouraging. You get there on Sunday morning and you want to make sure they're all empty bins, and they were, and they've all trotted up sound on Sunday morning. So I think it's fine, but just get the saddle on her and make sure she's not feeling a little bit lacklustre or she's got plenty of spring in her feet, and then we can start planning.
The other winner on the day was the impressive Rocking, also ridden by a stable apprentice and Tom Wigram. I heard you on the radio, or not on the radio, on the mail run in the morning, and you said she's a big, strong mare and she'll pull her way to the front, and she did exactly that. She's very impressive, isn't she, physically? Yeah,
she is that. She's a very strong horse, and, you know, I knew Tom would be a bit tested with her, but he's more than capable. I just said to him, Tom, she's going to run her own race. We can't plan too much. She'll take you into the race when you don't least expect that she's going to tell you got to go. And that's pretty much what she did, and she ran really well. And I thought he did exceptionally well, that he didn't tear away. He did gauge the pace quite suitably.
He sure did. What's sort of on the horizon for her? Where do you go from here?
Well, look, at the start of winter, the listed race at Tauranga was one we'd hope we could probably look at with her. But unfortunately, we didn't make the field, and the track probably was. The tracks leading up to the Tauranga haven't really been in our favour. They've been too good for her, and so therefore we haven't seen the best of her. This one now puts us in probably contention to have a look at the Opanaki Cup. It is a black type race, and I think she's capable of black typing.
Yeah, and she's in form. Mares in form, they're hard to fault, aren't they? Has she come through the race well? I'm sure she has, looking at the size of her.
Most definitely, yes. She's dragging everybody around on Sunday morning on the end of the lead. She's not dirty. She's just got a mind of her own and tough.
You mentioned Tom and the way he rode on Saturday. He showed maturity beyond his years, didn't he, with those two really smart rides aboard your horses. Just tell us a little bit about him and how you've experienced working with him.
Look, Tom lives with Peter and myself, and that is not an easy, situation when you work together, live together. We don't have any crosswords. We get on fabulously. He's great to have in the home. He's a great baker. Last night he did a peach upside down cake for dessert. We had guests for dinner, and just whips it up. But he's very conscious of what he eats. He's really dedicated. He's never had a can of Coke or Fanta in his life. It's only water or a proper fruit juice. He has his cereal, porridge. He's definitely well beyond his years, and to live with an older couple and get on with us and laugh and joke of an evening, that just shows you, a lot of kids will be like, oh, I don't want to be here with these old cronies, but we have great nights and watch movies, and maybe the old, oh, I don't want to watch that on Netflix, who's watching what, but that's about it. But like driven, wants to watch the race replays with us, wants to discuss the rides and where are we going next and what can I ride and what can I ring up to ride? Well, can you ring for this ride? He's pretty driven.
And that's exactly what you want. He's showing maturity beyond his years in terms of his race riding too, isn't he? He rode those two horses on Saturday, both beautifully judged front running rides.
Absolutely perfect. I couldn't fault him, and you've got to sit back and go, geez, this is only his third week of race riding. And he's had the 6 winners and quite a few placings. And he's just sitting beautifully and balanced. He went to Pookie jump outs this morning. He had 10 rides, straight in the car and straight off to apprentice school, and it's not a chore. If he hasn't got 10 rides out of 10 heats, he's disappointed. He loves it. He can't wait to ride, and he hates sitting around between races. He said he gets so bored. He wants to get out and ride. So, that says a lot about the kid and himself.
Obviously, he's got that really valuable 4-kilo claim, which is wonderful at this time of year through the winter to be able to gain that experience. How do you sort of develop him further and enable him to have a long and successful career in racing?
Well, I think the most important thing, and I don't think it'll be a problem for Tom, is just keeping his feet on the ground. You've got to realise he's only a month probably in turning 16, and the press is great, but it's also very demanding on a young boy. He went to the shop the other day and the lady goes, "Are you that boy that I've seen on TV? Do you ride horses?" And I said, "Tom, that's just the start of it. You're going to get a lot of this." And, I said, just keep your feet on the ground. And I don't think we have to work hard on that because he's not a big head. He doesn't sort of think, "Gee, I'm good, look at me." It's more, I want to do this. I want to achieve. I want to be as good as I can for as long as I can. And, he just gets the thrill out of riding in the races.
Yeah, and that's a real asset, isn't it? Donna, for yourself personally in the stable, tell me about that relocation back to New Zealand. Obviously, it's been a little while now, but re-establishing yourself in New Zealand, tell me about that.
Very hard work. It's a long hill to climb, believe me. And it's not, you come home and you think, "Oh, it's great, I'm back home and I'm training." And I thought, I wonder how many people will remember us. But we've had a good following, but we've had a lot of young horses, which is fantastic. But again, they take time and, they go shin sore and they get a virus or something and they're in and they're out and you at jump outs and then they go a bit stiff on you, so you got to put them back out in the paddock. So it is a long, slow process and we're just, I think, well, not quite there, but we're building momentum more all the time. And I'm looking forward to having a nice team of, the older ones that are racing a bit more consistently because we haven't had a lot race because of the young horses. So I am looking forward to having that consistent racing team again.
Donna, everyone in New Zealand knows what an astute and wonderful trainer that you are. Is there a horse in your stable that you're excited about for the 26-27 season?
Well, there's a couple of young ones. Belle Rebelle, she's done really well for what she's done to date. She's had a spell and she's back now. And Parfait de Mont, she was a great little 2-year-old for us. Both black typed, as 2-year-olds for us. So those are two nice little 2-year-olds that will be turning 3 shortly and looking forward to, furthering their spoils for the next season.
Donna, congratulations for the weekend and a huge thank you for jumping on with us today. Really appreciate it and good luck heading forward.
Thank you, Emily. Have a lovely day.
Oh, it's awesome to have Donna Logan back in New Zealand, isn't it? We move on from Donna and we take you to the listed Tauranga Classic. This one was taken out by Churchillian in very good fashion, led all the way. A third black type success for the daughter of Churchill, controlled the race and just been holding that recent form. Super consistent and seems to enjoy the 1400 metres as a sweet spot. We spoke to stable representative Ryan Stacey. They're going to turn Churchillian out for a brief break and then on to the Prasia plate of the other Tony Pike beaten gallopers, Honey Badger and Thuza, the Opunaki Cup on the radar. Certainly a good training performance, keeping her up and happy during this time by Coolmore Stud Sire in Churchill, bred by Sir Peter Vella under the Pencaro banner from the Fastnet Rock mare in Fond de Cœur. An 11-time winner, great stats surrounding Churchillian and a good ride from Sam Collett guiding the mare home. Took the shortest way home and was able to deliver the result in good fashion. Of the beaten horses, well, huge run by Kaimai Queen, who gets that valuable black type on the resume, and Thuza making good ground late. For Tony Pike, first, third and fifth in the race. A wonderful result for the stable. We leave that listed Tauranga Classic and instead of looking back, we look forward. That is to the jumps racing action coming in on Thursday. Obviously, we had the Trentham meeting postponed on Saturday. Thursday, the new spot for all of the jumping action. Here's a look at a couple of the markets. The Wellington Hurdles, Dictation, one of the favourites in this. Third in the Waikato Hurdle at a last start. That was in behind Pacheco. Was a small margin too. It starts as the $2.70 favourite. Of the other key chances, well, Happy Star would be one of those. A last start winner at the Wellington track. And you have to consider Billy Boy there, who was third behind Happy Star at that latest outing and has been a trial winner since. Not only that Wellington hurdles, but what about the Wellington steeple? We can take a quick look at the market for that as well. As you can see through the pre-start market, Never Look Back won its past two, most recently had a first try over the steeples, and Emily Farr, as you can see from those two markets, she's got a good chance to win both features. Nedwin also shaping up as a nice chance in this, a last start winner of the Waikato steeple. And if you're a follower of the form, well, Smug, Chris Wood, tipping that out as his trainer's tip on the show last week. 9 races, 5 jumps races. It's going to be the place to be during the week. That Trentham meeting on Thursday. Really looking forward to that. All of the action, of course, on Trackside, trackside.co.nz. A break for us, and then we continue on with our reviews. The New Zealand Bloodstock Weanling sale to come. The Godolphin Flying Start program is one of the most prestigious industry scholarships in the world. We're here at Curramore Stud to catch up with successful recipient Flynn Baker. He'll be the only Kiwi recipient for this year. Comes from a long line of racing heritage, grandson of Murray Baker and nephew of Björn. Let's find out about his path onto the course.
So I'm originally from the Wairarapa. My mum's a vet and dad's a sheep and beef farmer, and so I always grew up with agriculture. Like, it was good to have the agriculture base coming here. And my early memories of racing was I knew Björn and Murray were trainers, but I can remember mum screaming at the TV when we were younger. And as kids, we used to get so embarrassed. After my first year of uni, Björn invited me over to spend 2 months with him in the stable. When Björn invited me over, I still remember mum took me across to the neighbours to learn how to put a head collar on their pony. So when I got there, I was very, very green. And I remember I went to the Magic Millions sale, and Charlie King was doing a placement with Jim Clark, and Charlie sort of told me about the Flying Start and what he'd been doing. And then from there, it'd always been in the back of my mind, like if this is what I wanted to do, like I was going to aim to get on the course. And then finally, when I finished uni, I was like, I want to get some experience in the breeding sector. And I just looked on Love Racing, and there was a job at Curramore, and so I sent Gordon an email, and then about a month later, I moved down here and moved into the house.
There's been a number of Godolphin Flying Start graduates come off the farm, hasn't there?
Yeah, he's had, I think I'd be his 6th starting the course now, and a lot of credit to him. Like, he's helped me heaps, and when I first moved here, he said to me, this is what I should aim for, and he's been really encouraging. He's just taken me under his wing and taught me so much just about the horse and the foaling, and he's just really in touch with the horse. Like, he's got a very high attention to detail, and he picks up on every little thing, and he holds all of us here in himself to like the top tier of excellence in the industry. And yeah, it's pretty encouraging seeing that.
What's it like to continue on that family legacy, because your family have such a deep history in the industry?
Yeah, it's pretty special. Murray's a big inspiration of mine, what he did, and like just the manner he works in. And Björn's obviously had heaps of success over in Australia, and I can only dream to achieve what he's achieved.
He's hard-working, personality, and resourceful. He's an animal person, and that goes a long way in racing. I haven't given him much advice. He's gone and worked for Gordon Cunningham. He's one of the best in the business, just out here, and he's been there a year, so he's obviously learnt a lot. Well, you know, you get exposure when you go overseas, and he's going to Ireland where the Godolphin Start starts. It's well rated, very highly rated, so it's good to see him get the opportunity. We will miss him because he comes in and talks racing, and we give him a good roast and he's on his way.
So you'll miss having him around, obviously?
Yeah, we sure will, yeah.
You've lived with both of them, Björn and Andrea, and obviously Murray and Marianne. Give us some inside info. What's it like living with the relatives?
Yeah, it's pretty polar opposites. Living with Murray, it was a lot of quite casual, and he's very well spoken about everything and keeps a lid on everything. And Björn, I had a really good time living with him, yeah. And I learned a lot as well. Like, he puts in a lot of hard yards behind the scenes that not many people would see. I don't see Murray get very excited much, but I still remember bringing him and telling him, and it's probably the loudest I've heard him yell. So he was really digging for me to get it, and Mum and Dad are just over the moon and very proud.
Oh, I suppose it means a lot, but he might want to be a trainer. There's other opportunities in racing, so it'll be up to him. I didn't explain the pitfalls to him, but he's got very keen on it, and good luck to him.
Yeah, originally when I came to Karamoa, I always thought training just because of Murray and Björn, and I enjoyed it. But now coming to the stud, like, I'm sort of on the fence. So I'm just going into the course really open-minded, and I get to experience everything, so I'm not setting anything in plan. As we get closer, I'm probably getting more excited. Like, I have been pretty nervous, but now it's coming up. I'm pretty excited to get over there, and it's just a phenomenal experience, really. Like, I don't think any other industry would offer a scholarship that rivals it, and yeah, it's going to be great.
Flynn Nicholson, a very impressive young man, and we wish him the best of luck on the Godolphin Flying Start course upcoming. And for Gordon Cunningham of Curramore Stud, he's had great success with recipients of that Godolphin Flying Start course. So big well done to him too. We leave for a chat with Flynn and move you across to the New Zealand Bloodstock weanling sale, which of course went off with great success last Thursday. Top lot on the day was the very impressive Chaldean colt who made a cool $250,000. Mike Fleming of Boomer ventured across the Tasman and secured the quality chestnut colt from Hanui Farm. Obviously, great to see buyers really interested in the progeny of the Cambridge stud Shuttle Stallion in Chaldean. There was huge enthusiasm for him, really impressive horse who was certainly popular at the sale. And he'll head back to New South Wales. And for Chaldean, who's obviously a son of the legendary racehorse in Frankel, a great get for Cambridge stud, and certainly proves that going to be exciting in the coming years. There was also Paddington making an impact at that national wheeling sale. This colt selling for $190,000 is offered by Seaton Park and delivered nicely. There was obviously another really popular lot on the day, and Paddington as a racehorse, he was very impressive, wasn't he? And shuttling to New Zealand, a great get for Windsor Park stud, and awesome to see his progeny certainly delivering as well early on in the career. So great interest in some exciting young styres there at the New Zealand Bloodstock weanling sale. The sale as a whole, well, it was pretty good feedback from around the grounds. There was plenty of demand. That was evident with that total aggregate of just north of $3.5 million. It was up 49%. 102 weanlings sold for the 143 lot catalogue. There was an increased average as well, up 23%. And as you can see, that clearance rate at 89%. Strong buying bench, Australia, New Zealand, China, Hong Kong and Japan. And certainly for vendors and buyers alike, everybody commenting on the good quality that was at the Karaka weanling sale for 2026. Well, other big news outside of that sale was, of course, in the form of that TAB Advisory Committee releasing their recommendations on the racing industry reform. You can see on screen a brief overview of that. Discussions obviously continue over the future structure of the sector following the release of proposals from the TAB New Zealand Advisory Committee. Racing Minister Winston Peters has called for greater collaboration between all parties, while New Zealand Thoroughbred Racing says talks have stalled and that genuine negotiation is needed to move forward. NZTR also says much of the proposed reform could be achieved within the existing frameworks without the need for legislative change. However, uncertainty remains with funding for the upcoming season still yet to be confirmed, leaving clubs and participants awaiting clarity as discussions continue behind the scenes. So no doubt plenty still to unfold from that, and as things do unfold, we'll obviously bring you the latest here on Winter Weigh-In. Outside of that, other news stories during the week, well, we saw that Tony Ryder was successful in purchasing the Oaks stud. He won't take over the ownership until the end of July next year. And great that the farm remains locally owned, and an exciting time for Tony Ryder and the Milan Park team as they expand and obviously take on some stallions as well. So a really exciting time for all involved, and great to see that that will remain local. And Best of luck to Tony Ryder with those endeavours heading forward. So really exciting news, a big week of news when it comes to winter weigh-in this week. Hopefully you've enjoyed the show. As always, we'll be back next week to review all of the weekend's racing.